Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Drew. I just want to take a minute and share something with you. I watched a movie last night called The Karate Kid, the older version, not like the newer updated version, but the original. And in this movie, there was a main character named Daniel. Daniel was getting beat up and bullied at school, and he wanted to learn how to fight and defend himself. Lo and behold, he runs into this guy named Mr. Miyagi, who used to be a kung fu or karate master, and he agrees to train him. So Mr. Miyagi tells Daniel, "Hey, show up at my house tomorrow, and I'll train you on how to fight." Daniel's like, "Bet, I'll be there for sure." So Daniel shows up, right? And then Mr. Miyagi's there with a bucket of soap and water and basically tells Daniel, "Hey man, go wash all my cars. And when you're done, I need you to wax them all. But when you wax my cars, you got to do it just like this. You got to do wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off." And even if you've never seen the movie, you've probably heard the wax on, wax off expression. And that's where it's from, the Karate Kid. And then the next day he comes back, he says, "Now I want you to paint my fence." So Daniel's like, "What does this have to do with learning how to fight?" And Mr. Miyagi's like, "Shut up, paint my fence." And then when you paint the fence, you got to go up and down, up and down. And the rest of the week, every time Daniel showed up thinking he wanted to learn how to train, to fight, he's like, "What am I doing? All these chores have nothing to do with helping me to get to over here," which his over here was learning how to fight and defend himself. But what he's doing here has nothing to do with over here. And finally, he loses it. He goes up to Mr. Miyagi and lets him have it and tells Mr. Miyagi, "Hey, you're playing me. This is just a trick to get me to do all your chores." And all of a sudden, Mr. Miyagi snaps into like a kung fu stance. And instantly, Daniel realized he made a bad decision by going off on his kung fu master. And Mr. Miyagi, before he throws a punch at Daniel, he yells out a command. And he says, "Wax on," and he throws a punch. And instinctively, Daniel blocks that punch with his wax on motion. Mr. Miyagi throws another punch, and he blocks it with the wax off. Then Mr. Miyagi comes to hit him from up top, and he uses his painting motion when he was painting the fence to block the punch from up top. At the same time, Mr. Miyagi kicked on the bottom. He used the blocking motion on the bottom, and instantly, Daniel realized that the training he was doing over here exactly had everything to do to help him reach his goal over here. And I had a little bit of spiritual application, and that's what I want to share with you today. Application is this: I felt like I was like Daniel as well, with a goal to get over here, which his was learning how to fight, but he didn't realize that he was stuck over here, but over here was training him to get to over here. And I felt like that so many times in my life. And as I get older, I realized that couldn't have been farther from the truth. Every time I got to over here, I realized when I was stuck at some dead end job over here, the skills I learned over here and the heart that changed when I was stuck here helped me be a better person and be a better servant when I became over here. A great example would be when I was 17 years old. I was just getting out of jail, just getting saved. Youth pastor gave me a job working for him, and I was around him 24/7. I got to hear the way he would counsel on the telephone to help other people. I got to see the way he loved and he served his wife. I got to see the passion he had for Jesus on a daily. And I never knew that one day I would be a youth pastor myself. And those skills that I learned watching him over here, when they were just training me to help me be better when I got to over here. And another example would be I picked up a job over spring break working for a lawn care company, and I hated it. I hated it. And I ended up working there for a year. Meanwhile, I'm applying to other jobs, wondering why I'm stuck at this dead end job. And then one day it hit me. Hey man, this guy's making so much money. Why don't I just cut out the middleman? Why don't I start a business myself? And later on I did, and I started my own company. And I realized that while I was stuck here at that dead end jobs, or so I called it, I was actually being trained to know the business, to watch how he did estimates, to watch how he treated customers, to watch how he did his books. And everything I was doing here was training to help me run a better business when I got to over here. And I just hope that encourages you today while you're stuck over here. Learn everything you can while you're there. Get every skill you can out of that situation. Get everything out of every person that's around you, because everything you're getting right here is just training to help you get to when you get over here. I hope that encourages you today. God bless.